Hey everybody, Tekking101 here with a very special service announcement. Are you going to be alone this Valentine's Day? No special someone to warm your bed with? Well, I have the answer, you physical embodiment of loneliness. Join the Charlotte Katakuri fan club today! I mean, I was just a pathetic, cringy loser before I discovered the majesty of Katakuri. And after only one easy payment of 1 billion berries and bathing in a giant vat of mochi, I became a lifelong member. Received these free glasses, head dongly thing, and a free 6-pack of donuts! I mean, come on now! What more could you ask for? And, more importantly, I'm Charlotte Katakuri's best little sister ever now! I'm serious about that fan club. You should join it, really. It's changed my life in ways that I can't even comprehend yet, but probably in a positive way. Anyway, hey everybody, Tekking101 here, and welcome to One Piece Chapter 92 review titled Recognized as Strong Opponents. This is gonna be awesome! But first we have to check on Leo. We gotta pay attention to the cover stories because that's where Oda gets you. You lay off on the cover stories for a few weeks and then all of a sudden Eneru is descending on Earth with the freaking ancient weapon of Uranus and it's like, where did this come from, you know? Well, this week we have the citizens of Dressrosa going out of their way to repay the debt of the Tontatas. You know, Leo was a helping hand in saving, you know, the island from Doflamingo. I mean, well, you know, they were. I mean, he took out Jola, you know, and they helped out there, and Mancherry was a big driving force that was enslaved by Doflamingo and, you know, using her powers to try to bring back all of the members of the Doflamingo family that were injured, and they could use her power to bring back the Smile Factory if it was ever destroyed. So the Tontatas helped out quite a bit there, and the Dressrosa citizens, the shipwrights on the island, they build them well, let's be honest here, they build them a large-sized dinghy, you know, but to the Tontatas, that might as well be like a giant-ass galleon for them to journey the 7 seas, you know, the pirate life. And you might laugh at that. You might look at this thing and be like, oh, that's not a very big ship. They're not going to get very far in that in the New World. Okay, a few things. Number one, you see this thing coming at you, you know, with Usopp's big freaking face, you know, so it would probably scare the shit out of you right away. But even if it doesn't, you're not going to think it's a threat. You're not going to think like you're a freaking like pirate crew in a huge-ass galleon and this little tiny dinghy floats by. You're not going to be thinking, enemy attack, fire the cannons, give them everything we got, men! No, you're going to be thinking, like, what is that, like a random fishing boat that just drifted? Oh, okay, whatever. You're either going to ignore it, or you're not going to take it seriously. And by the time it's already drifting past you, that's when the Tontatas jump out. And remember, the Tontatas are just as strong as normal humans. Size isn't everything. So they start invading your ship, freaking bug devil fruit powers everywhere. You get knocked down on your ass, and you don't even know what happened by the time that your entire crew is taken over by a bunch of tiny little acorn people, you know, like, yeah, so don't be doubting the Tontata pirates. They're gonna go after this. All right, so we cut over to the sea in Tautland where you have the Thousand Sunny, of course, still being pursued by Big Mom and Perospero, and I don't know what happened to Daifuku. I guess Daifuku's crew, because Carrot ripped out all their rudders, I guess, because we don't really hear anything from them, so I guess they're a few miles back, still drifting in the ocean. Oh, crap! Freaking buddy, freaking lion pit, you know, so we don't really see much of them. But they notice that Beige's ship is coming there towards them. It has the cake on board. Everyone is smelling it. Big Mom is smelling it like, oh yes, that's a delicious scent. So she knows it's coming. All of the Straw Hats are shocked by this, except for Carrot, of course, who's snoozing in her quarters. You know, I kind of wonder what she's dreaming about right about now, considering all this crazy nonsense is in the background. Yonko's chasing them, riding on a literal interpretation of the sun with a huge flaming sword. You know, I wonder what it's like for the little bunny mink in Dreamland. Lettuce is good. Lettuce is indeed good. did I ever tell you guys about the time that I went to the store to go buy a head of lettuce and I came back with a head of cabbage and my mom looked at me like I was the biggest disappointment in, like, our entire family? Never told you that story? Okay, well, I basically just did. There's really nothing much more to it there. But hey, one is a ball of leaves, the other one's a ball of leaves. They look similar to me. Okay, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so Big Mom redirects her rage from the Thousand Sunny. She really doesn't have a moment where she's like, oh, I guess the cake wasn't on that ship all along, because she's well past that point. She doesn't care if she was wrong. She doesn't care. She's a Yonko, you know? She would have wiped out 1,000 ships before she finally got to the cake, but she's like, and her attention span is not that great at the moment, so she's just like, oh, cake's over there now, I can smell it, confirmation, easy, and then she starts making a beeline over for Beige's ship. So Beige's there, and he's really not freaking out. Instead, he's rallying the fire tank pirates to battle, basically. He's like, alright, man your positions, we're taking down the sea cow, you know, and everyone's like, oh, let's go, Capone, we got this. And then you have Sanji off to the side, who begins his ultimate swooning technique, where he like bends and contorts his body in a way that is definitely not biologically feasible, and then proceeds to turn into a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man you see outside of car dealerships. I don't know. Nami Swan, I've come to save you. And, you know, Nami, I'm sure she cares about Sanji. Of course she does. You haven't seen him in forever and the whole thing with the Ven smokes. But you know, right around the time Sanji does that, Nami is feeling just like a, oh, and Beige even mentions, you know, to the, wow, it's impressive that they were being chased by Big Mom and Perospero, like that, and this entire fleet of the Big Mom pirates. They're being chased for hours and hours on end. They're still there. Their ship looks a little banged up, but they're still at it, and even without their captain, nonetheless, that they were able to accomplish this. So I think hats off to them. One of the greatest Mafia Dons in all of One Piece is giving you guys cred. I'm gonna take that. So there's this aura coming off the ship, and Nami's kind of looking at it, and she's like, I see somebody's shadow. Do you feel a weird aura? And it's funny, Jinbei steps up, and he's just like, well, weird aura? Well, it isn't hockey, I'll tell you that much. It's something else, you know? And you know what, Jinbei, I hate to disagree with you. I understand you got some credit, you know, you know a lot about hockey, you're a former warlord and all that stuff, but I gotta disagree with you. I think what Sanji is using is actually hockey, but it's just the rare fourth kind of hockey, lover's hockey, that's just never been before known to the world. Even the great masters like Rayleigh, even Roger didn't know about lover's hockey. It's actually the strongest hockey, but it can only be used for like a few, well, in Sanji's case, only a few like seconds at a time, and then after that you gotta wait for another like 5 minutes for it to recharge, maybe 10, depends. And but whenever it goes and whenever it blows, it is strong. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, we cut over to Big Mom's side of it, where we see Perospero on top of the sea slug, and he's having a little bit of a problem here because he notices, okay, there's obviously a cake on Beige's ship because they can smell it. It's like giving off like an atom bomb of sweetness. But there's a problem with this because they know Beige is a traitor from what happened at the tea party and everything. So he's like, if we let Big Mom eat the cake, Beige undoubtedly poisoned the thing, and if Big Mom dies, that's it. It's the end of Totland. Your Yonko commander is now gone. But at the same time, you can't destroy the cake because, number one, you would be the first person to die. Perospero would be the first person to die if he, you know, went after the cake and destroyed it. And Big Mom's Rampage, you know, it's an unknown mama. They have no idea what's going to happen afterwards. You know, it's very likely, you know, if this Rampage continues, she might die anyway. They just don't know. Or she could just stay like this forever and keep getting stronger and stronger. I don't know. Big Mom's body doesn't really adhere to normal common sense, you know, and even in One Piece, when I'm saying normal sense, I mean like the kind of common sense in One Piece, which is already kind of wacky. They have no idea what's going to happen, so it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment, where Perospero, his eyes start doing the little confusion thing. He's like, I don't know what are we going to do? And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I guess really, I would take, you know, the risk with the poison, I guess, because Big Mom is, you know, like I said, her body's a little weird, so even if the cake is poisoned, it's not, of course, Sanji said, I'm not going to poison the cake, and after Beige took a bite, he's like, all right, we won't poison the cake, but Perospero doesn't know that, but even if there's like, all right, even if they poison the cake, it's possible Big Mom won't be affected by the poison because she's Big Mom, and she'll still have the cake that might satiate her. So it's kind of a gamble, like an all or nothing. Like, even if she eats the cake that's poisoned, she might be alright and everything will be cool. But if you don't give her the cake, if you just destroy it, then we don't know what's going to happen. It's completely a mystery of what this unknown mama will bring, the death and destruction of Tauntland, and it might result in her death at the end of the day anyway. So, if I was in Sparrow's shoes, I mean, it would be a tight call for me, but I would just say for her to eat the damn cake. Right. So, we cut back over to Beige's ship, the Nostra Castorio. I forgot its name. It's something like that. But anyway, he brings up, he's like, alright, look, Blackleg, here's the deal. You know, we agreed to not poison the cake, you know, and everything like that, but you have, I have your word that after she eats the cake and after she gets a full tummy, you know, we can do whatever. And Sanji lights up he's like, you know what, I don't care. You know, my only job as a chef is to make sure she gets fed and she has a full stomach at the end of the day. That's my duty as a chef. I can't give you permission to poison it, but after that's done, you can unload on her, you can shoot her with freaking gas grenades and freaking RPGs, and you can ram your entire ship into her. I don't care. You know, like, just gotta make sure she eats the cake first. And they're like, alright, cool. So that's when Pudding steps up to bat. She gets on Rabian. Sanji gets inside of the flying carpet, and she goes Rabian Super Express and then rockets toward the Thousand Sunny. She gets off the ship because Big Mom's heading toward it. It's probably best for them not to see Pudding on the ship or whatever. Even in Big Mom's crazy state, we don't know how she would react to that. AJ's like, alright, here we go. We're going to Liquor Islands, full southwest, turn to stern. And they're turning the ship to get away from Big Mom. Meanwhile, Pudding and Sanji land on the Thousand Sunny properly, and everyone immediately freaks out, and Brook and Nami go up to hug Sanji, and they grab him and hug him super tightly. And there's this, oh my god, so kawaii cutie scene where you see Nami look up at Sanji, and she's like, you know, her eyes are all full of tears, all the crap she just went through and everything, and they haven't seen Sanji in so long, and they're just happy Sanji's still on their side. And it's this such a cute expression. And of course Sanji's reaction to this is, oh, even though she didn't actually say it, she's confessing her undying love for me. I love you too, Nami. And then she backs up a little bit as Sanji does the weird twist thing, you know, like, I love you. I don't know how this works. But anyway, they ask him, like, oh, what were you doing on, what's Beige's ship doing? Why is he turning? And he's like, well, they're heading to Liquor Island. They're trying to redirect Big Mom away. And it's at this point, by the way, we actually get to see the Thousand Sunny in, like, a large scope, exactly the damage. And, you know, it doesn't look great. I mean, the main deck is pretty damaged. You know, Big Mom ripped up part of the back of the ship, you know, where the dining, like, the aquarium is. The sail is partially burnt, not the whole thing, though. At the end of the day, it did take a significant amount of battle damage, but it's nothing that Frankie won't be able to fix. It's still seaworthy. It's not like Big Mom wrecked the bottom of the ship or anything like that, and most of the sail is still there, so they should be fine. You know, I don't know about the One Piece world all too much, and I don't know what the level of expertise is on all this, but you think even if the sail is damaged beyond repair, you think it would be rather easy to just get another sail and throw it up there. It would be easier to replace the sail than it would be to fix an actual ship, you know, like the wood and everything like that. But yeah, I'm sure after Frankie sees the condition the Sunny's in, he won't be happy, but he'll be able to fix it relatively no problems. So we cut back over now to Beige's ship. He takes out a Den Den Mushi and he begins to communicate with Sparrow, and he acts like nothing is wrong. He acts like he was never a traitor at all. He's just like, this Beige here, you know, leave Mama's tantrum to us, we'll deliver the cake and we'll let her go. And Sparrow's like, don't give me that shit! You poisoned that cake, I know you did, we're not just gonna let you do as you please. And Beige's like, no, seriously, we have the cake, just chase after the Straw Hats, don't even bother with us, we'll be okay. And he's kind of like playing like reverse psychology a little bit, like, oh yeah, go after the Straw Hats, you know, leave Mama to us. And like, screw you, we're going after you. So, they redirect their plan a little bit. The Straw Hats don't get off scot-free, unfortunately, but here's how it works. Sparrow changes it up, so he's like, alright, me and the Bavarios guy, the Bavarian cream dude, they're gonna go after Big Mom and Beige, okay, who are headed toward Liquor Island, right? Meanwhile, you have Smoothie's fleet that was bringing up the rear that we didn't really get to see all too much, but yeah, Smoothie has a fleet back there with some other members of the Longleg tribe that are female as well. And we find out in this chapter they're actually her sisters. So we have Citron, who is the 15th daughter of the Big Mom family. Keep in mind that Smoothie was the 14th daughter and one of the 3 Sweet Commanders commanders, and then you have the 16th daughter, who is Cinnamon, who is, I know it's cinnamon, but yeah, Cinnamon is just funnier to say. It's like Jamaican. Oh, you want some cinnamon, man? But no, she is obviously the best one out of all of them. I don't know, Smoothie, I gotta give the edge to Cinnamon if I'm gonna give it to somebody. I'm sorry, Smoothie. A close second. But anyway, yeah, so they have their fleet behind Sparrow's fleet, so they're gonna continue on against the Straw Hats, you know, Jinbei and Sanji and everybody, and so you got Sparrow off your back anyway, so, I don't know, you're still, now, I mean, Sparrow is strong, but he's not a sweet commander. Smoothie is a sweet commander, so I don't know what's a better trade-off here. Being chased by Sparrow or being chased by one of the sweet commanders. I would say probably Sparrow, because, you know, I would say he's older now, he's not in his prime anymore. Maybe Sparrow was a sweet commander at some point, but he just, you know, he passed it on to the next generation. Smoothie is probably like the youngest out of all of them, I would assume. Katakuri's like in his 40s, I don't know how old Cracker was. Snack we know nothing about, but I'm going to assume Smoothie's probably the youngest sweet commander, maybe the newest one to that rank, so I don't know, I'm just saying it might be a little bit worse for wear for having Smoothie chase after you. But anyway, so we cut back over to the Straw Hats. They're of course heading to the Cacao Island to rendezvous with Luffy. Sanji kind of breaks the bad news, though, that, hey, they already know our plan. They already know Luffy is going to try to get to Cacao Island through the Mirro-World. You know, Katakuri knows this. Everybody already knows this. Nami is shocked by this and like, oh, crap, what are we going to do? Jinbei says, he's like, hey, at least, for better or for worse, they acknowledge us as strong enemies, which is something, I mean, you could get the Boy Scout badge for that, you know, acknowledged as strong by a Yonko. I mean, that's something you could shine that up, but, it's not a good thing. Sanji mentions, you know, they have their whole fleets, they're throwing the sweet commanders at it, you know, we can't win against that. We can't go up against an entire freaking fleet of Big Mom's pirates and just expect to come out of that alive. So we cut back over to Beijing's ship very briefly. They all get rallied up. Chiffon is there. Everyone's like, oh, this is why I love you, Chiffon. This cake is going to be great and everything. And so that's when the Straw Hats notice that a different fleet is chasing after them. It's Smoothies, you know, and so Jinbei mentions it like, oh, it's Commander Smoothie who's chasing after us now. But he doesn't really bring up anything major like, oh, crap, we're really screwed now because Smoothie can juice people. You know, it's still basically the same shitty situation they were in earlier. It's not like, you know, Jinbei. You think if Jinbei knew something about Smoothie in particular that made her, like, specially dangerous, he would bring it up. Like, oh, now we're really screwed. But he doesn't bring that up, so, you know, whatever. Sanji states, you know, the only plan I can think of is to continue and just go to Cacao Island, is to pass through Cacao Island, because there's nothing else we can really plan on doing. We're just going to have to... I hope they have a plan here. At least Sanji does. We just don't hear about it in this chapter, because next page we cut over to Cacao and it is just decked out. Like literally the entire island, all the way around it, its entire circumference is filled with battleships ready to go. They're even mentioning, like, are these many ships really necessary? And Montdor is like, yes, it is, absolutely. We need to have this many. And so Oven is, of course, still on the island. They're basically like, this is our final freaking stand against it. We're going to make sure Luffy doesn't escape alive. We're going to make sure the Straw Hats can't even arrive to the coast of the island. So, with the situation with the Mirro-World with Luffy, Oven drags this giant ornate mirror out to basically the town square, and he's like sitting right in front of it, and he's like, all right, everybody on this island, go back to your homes and smash your mirrors, you know, and even the mirrors, because everyone's like, even the valuable ones? Okay, if I was Oven in this situation, I'd be like, yes, even the most valuable, they're mirrors! They're freaking mirrors! Shatter them or we kill you, pick one. But I guess Oven is a nice dude. He's like, okay, if it's a valuable mirror, if you don't want to break it, just make sure to throw it into the deepest part of the ocean. I don't know how you do that when you're on an island, you know, because the coast would not be that deep, but he's like, just chuck it into the ocean, and in a few days you can go and get them back. We'll send a special scuba diving team of I don't know, fish homies. But, you know, my point is, make sure that the only mirror on this island is this one in the town square that I'm guarding personally. If Straw Hat has any other way of escaping, if there's any other mirror in your houses that he's going to escape from, we will execute your entire family on the spot. I am not dealing with this today. Which makes it even more confusing why he wouldn't just say, shatter every mirror, instead of, like, chucking in the ocean, because that seems like, I don't know, because you think, like, even if, like, let's say there's a mirror in the ocean, and Luffy can't usually escape through that, because he's a devil fruit user, he can't swim, but you have the Sun Pirates that are still around in the ocean, so if Luffy gets knocked out of a mirror, and he's like, whoa, underwater, you know, the thing like at Arlong Park, where he can't swim, he's gonna drown, and then all of a sudden, you know, Aladdin comes up and grabs him and takes him to the surface, problem solved, he managed manage to escape. So I think the Sun Pirates are definitely going to play a role here. I don't think Luffy's going to break out of this one mirror. I think that statement that Oven made, like you could just throw the mirrors in the water that you don't want to break, I think that's really going to come back to bite him in the ass. Because Luffy will just escape through that, and then one of the Sun Pirates will save him and bring him back to the ship, and they'll manage to get out of there. So, cutting back over to the Mirro-World for the final scene of the chapter, Luffy versus Katakuri, of course. Luffy's getting beaten down. He's still looking worse for wear. He's still got his eyes all swollen. He's like, ugh. But Katakuri's realizing, he's like, this guy, his observation is getting closer and closer to my level. If I let this drag on further, it's entirely possible he might reach my levels, so he decides just to end it right there. He charges up his Mochi Spear, Mole or Mogura or Earth Dragon. I just love saying Earth Dragon. He does the Mochi thing where he spins his arm around using Mochi, winds it up like a spring, and then he launches the attack against Luffy. And the final scene of the chapter is Luffy getting struck by that thing. Not dead on. He doesn't get hit by it like right here. He actually tries to dodge it. It's more or less, I think, at this point, maybe Luffy saw it coming, but it's just he didn't see it quick enough, or maybe in that situation the observation failed, or even if he did see it, seeing it coming and dodging it are two completely different things. One is dependent on your observation, the other is dependent on your physical body being able to dodge it, and Luffy's getting beaten right down pretty bad. So maybe Katakuri's like, I'm gonna do this 100% seriously, like all my speed, all my strength is going with this, and Luffy's like, oh shit, and he couldn't dodge it. So he gets hit off to the side. Looking at this one way, it looks like there's a big chunk of Luffy's like abdomen, like he just lost his left kidney, like it's gone. That's one way of looking at it, like the spear is going straight through him. Another way of looking at it is there's like an explosion occurring, in front of Luffy, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense considering it's not an exploding technique. Or at least, wait, is it an exploding technique? Because didn't he do that technique earlier and he pierced a wall and it like blew off the other side of the wall somehow? So maybe it is, I don't know. But either way, Luffy's taking a lot of damage here. He either has an explosion going off in front of him or just a big chunk of his abdomen is just now missing, and then the last scene of the chapter is Luffy's eyes are going white, which, from what we've seen up to this point in the series, it seems to be a lot similar to that time, old Ace Dog bit the big one. He fought against the old red dog and it bit back, and Luffy's like, oh! So his eyes are going white, so it's looking like he's about to pass out. Then you see Flambe off to the side who's like, and that's the end of the chapter. So, I gotta put my clicker on top of a bunch of donuts. Now look, I brought this up before. I know there's a lot of debate on how the whole Luffy versus Katakuri thing was gonna go. I think there's a lot of people that thought Luffy was gonna, he's gonna achieve the same level of observation as Katakuri. He's gonna fight against him, and Luffy's gonna straight up win. He's gonna beat Katakuri down into submission, and he's gonna leave. There's other people, I was more into this camp, that Luffy is gonna succeed in managing to knock down Katakuri, not beat him into submission, not like with Crocodile or Lucci or anything, not like comatose, but he's going to be able to get an attack off of Katakuri, knock him down, have him hit the ground. He's going to, like, what? And then Flambe and her fan club ilk are going to be like, ah! And then Luffy's going to take that opportunity just to leave. This is more of a race just to escape the islands. I want to see them fight, like, alright, well, Luffy is all healed up, he's ready to go. He's kind of understood what the observation hockey is from the last time they fought Katakuri. Let's go for an all-out rematch. And it just goes nuts. This fight has just been pretty much one-sided. Luffy managed to get off a few hits, sure, but, I mean, for the most part, like, for 9 times out of 10, it's Katakuri's the one that's taking, that's dealing all the damage on Luffy. Sometimes, not all the time, Luffy's able to dodge the attacks, but come on, you can't win a fight like that. You can't win a fight by just, okay, I'm dodging all of your attacks, therefore, the only reason Katakuri is stepping it up a little bit is because he's like, alright, if this keeps going on and on and on, he's eventually going to, master his observation hockey, on a level similar to mine, and we can't have that, so I'm just gonna, it showed that Katakuri at least had something in the tank he hasn't shown yet. He wasn't going full power from the beginning. Now he's like kind of going full power. Like, alright, seriously, we need to end this now. Now, I don't know if Luffy is unconscious from this. He might have one of those like willpower moments where he's like about to fall unconscious and he's like, I can take it! I can take it! Guys, a Kaoni or a Wadar! You know, like, he might do that, I don't know. But I just don't, you gotta understand, I just don't see Luffy coming back from this. I don't see Luffy getting back up and, like, he's not a Saiyan, guys. He doesn't get stronger the more he comes near death. I don't see Luffy getting back up after this and, like, observation hockey mastered and then beat down freaking Katakuri, like, I win! Later, and then just walks out. I don't see that going down. I don't. I think, you know, another way of viewing this, by the way, is people are saying maybe this is Luffy's observation hockey. Luffy didn't actually get hit. Luffy didn't actually get part of his freaking kidney cut out. That's the observation hockey we're seeing. However, we see Flambe off to the side laughing, so I'm gonna say that's probably not the case, but, you know, it's possible. But yeah, I think Luffy's not, you know, he's not going to get knocked unconscious from this. He's going to hold on. Maybe he can come up with something to knock down Katakuri. Maybe his observation hockey will be improved after this encounter, but I don't think it's going to be a straight-up victory for Luffy. You know what I mean? But at any rate, I hope you do enjoy I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you, of course, join the Katakuri fan club. Positions are filling up fast. There's a lot of little. Do you want to be Katakuri's little sister? Because there's a lot of people that want to be Katakuri's little sister. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Gonna have me a Dunit. All right. Alright, in all honesty, these things, I bought these because I thought I was going to do the review on Friday. Chapter wasn't released on Friday, it was released closer on Saturday. I couldn't review it Saturday because I was at a con. I couldn't review it yesterday because I got home later than I thought. So these donuts are like 3 days old, so they're like, you know, they're hard as rock. So I'm up here, I have to enjoy it like, but they're freaking, yeah, so I have to throw a bunch of donuts away now. So, yeah. Sorry, Katakuri. Katakuri just jumps out of the trash can out of nowhere like, I will not allow this. Mochi thrust.